welcome back. Hopefully this AT&T hotspot will work a little better than the Verizon. Verizon one kept dropping, so sorry about that, guys. We're now in Lehighton, pulled over to swap hotspots and adjust the car mount a little bit since it's got the wobbles. Yeah, we're back, Kimberly. Unfortunately, cell service is very intermittent on this trip.
We're right at the bridge of the Lehigh River here in Lehighton. I'm going to go on Route 209. We're going to go upstream a little ways. North to Jim Thorpe, even though it says 209 South.
I always laugh at that. It says 209 South.
It kind of jogs along the river for a few miles before it turns more southerly, but really more westerly in this case. Yeah, some neat terrain through here too.
Yeah.
at that mountain straight ahead.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's on the other side of the river.
Really pretty. That'll look really nice when we go up to Cornell to visit. A little more colorful.
Is that going to be next weekend?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's next weekend.
To reschedule our Lake Wallenpaupack tour.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough daytime today. Yeah, it'll be next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but the next one.
This weekend's the Dartmouth game.
Yeah, it's at noon, and then Cornell is actually earlier in the day. It's at 11.
It's on a Saturday.
Yeah, instead of noon.
Expect traffic delays.
I wonder if there's construction. It didn't mention which road, but
Say again?
the sign for the traffic delays.
Oh, no, I don't think it did.
Wonder. Because we're taking 903, right?
Hopefully. Hopefully when we get to Jim Thorpe, we can take 903.
Yeah, I don't see any issues on 903. Look at the rock faces here.
Yeah. There wasn't much room for the road. Welcome to Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Woods Ice Cream's open. I love the stone architecture. I'll turn on red. It's always a fun interchange. You can take a train ride here.
Choo choo. The High
Some
Gorge
parking.
Scenic Railway.
You can park right along the road here.
You can also bike the trails too.
Yeah. There's parking down there too.
They have river access as well.
There's a lot more parking down there on the right. Here's the bridge. They replaced this bridge some years ago.
Yeah, they did. I remember when they did.
Bixley, 21 miles.
Benny says the Poconos are beautiful. Yes, they are. When is the last time we went up in that area? It's been a few years.
Yeah, it has been. Maybe when we went up to Syracuse for a game, or maybe Ithaca for Cornell game. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while. Jim Thorpe Halloween Parade, August 22nd. I mean, October 22nd. August. Come back in my time machine.
It's quite a climb out of here, too, on this road.
Oh, yeah. I like that they honor their hometown heroes. That's cool. A lot of the small towns in Pennsylvania do that.
We actually transitioned from the Appalachian Mountains to the Allegheny Plateau. You think, oh, the Allegheny Plateau, that's western Pennsylvania, but it actually includes the Poconos. And you can really tell on Route 903, you'll see how this goes. When we climb up out of the valley here up on the mountain, you don't go back down. You just go up, and you're up on a plateau. That's the beginning of the Alleghenies.
John says that bald eagle was awesome. What timing that you happened to see it. I know, right, John?
Yeah.
That was just pure luck. It was not planned.
Sometimes things just work out.
Then he says we used to go up to the Poconos for races. Oh, that's cool. We're in just climbing out of Jim Thorpe right now, John. We had to swap out the hot spots because Verizon just wasn't working very well. So hopefully AT&T holds. But if it drops again, we'll just have to roll with it. It's just the way it goes, driving in the mountains. The scenic ways rather than the highways. Well, they do NASCAR races up there in the Poconos. Okay. Yeah, I've never been to a NASCAR race. I hear they're a lot of fun, though. They're loud. They can be very loud.
I don't remember where that is.
Benny, what's the name of the raceway? Do you remember?
It's a brutal climb.
John says, love Jim Thorpe. Yeah, it's a pretty town. You can get train rides, which are really fun. You also go out on the river, and they have trails.
There's a memorial there on the left we just went by to Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe, the athlete.
But yeah, this is a big, big, big mountain to climb.
Popping yet?
Yeah, got popcorn. Then he says, I'm in New York. I live 15 miles from WGI. It's the Pocono Raceway, also known as the Tricky Triangle. It's a super speedway located in the Pocono Mountains near Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Okay.
There's the moon.
Let's look that up. Oh, yeah, there it is.
It's off to the right there.
That's really cool. I don't know if that showed up on the stream or not, though. Might have been too fast.
It might have been a glimpse. I don't know.
It looks almost full. Pretty big.
Maybe another day to go before it's full?
Maybe. I'm so tired of Facebook muting my videos for road noise.
Oh, they do it to today's too?
Yeah, they did the first one before we restarted it. It's so dumb.
Does it stay that way or does it get fixed?
I can't fix it. They won't let me do anything. But they won't tell me what I'm copywriting, infringing on. They just say, part of your video has been partially muted. So, I guess we're playing Road Track 99 today or something. It's a running joke. The running joke is every time I get muted on Facebook for road noise, we come up with a new soundtrack or road noise track for what caused them to flag it. Sometimes it's a bridge, sometimes it's a road. It must have been those Lee-Heighton ripples in the road. Those seam ripples.
Could be.
I bet that's what did it. We're still going up, up, and away. Remember the one time we came up this way to go to, was it Cornell? Or another trip where we were driving through and it was like an ice storm hit up here.
Yeah.
And like it was everything was covered in ice. It was really bizarre.
Now you notice we climbed up quite a bit.
Yeah, now it's
And now
really
it's
flat.
just flat. Look at it, how flat it is.
Yeah.
It's actually transitioning to the Allegheny Plateau.
That guy is angry.
He didn't like my slow climb up the plateau.
Yeah. He was giving us some friendly words of advice.
Oh, was he giving us freedom finger too?
He might have. We might have got a freedom bird. I thought he was going to spit out of his window.
Oh, was he?
Well, he was yelling at us so much it looked like he was going to spit out his window.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, the passenger literally was out of his window yelling at us. So,
Oh, frustrated Democrat.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
But this is why our car has over 400,000 miles on it and theirs does not. We don't kill our engine. We don't drive like a turtle, but like a NASCAR driver either. What's hilarious though is the guy in front of him is slowing him down now.
Yeah,
So like you can't blame us.
I guess he just goes from driver to, car to car, just angry that he can't go faster.
The colors are very nice up here though.
Yeah.
Lots of reds. I know.
But I remember that morning that we came up here and everything was
everything
just
was
ice
ice.
covered.
Like remember how the grasses were like I don't
Yeah.
know, like they're kind of high right now. Like all the grasses were like coated. It was like Jack Frost went out and painted every single grass and bush, and it was just really bizarre. In the valley, and it came up here and it was just coated. It was really neat. Watkins Glen International. That sounds familiar. It does sound familiar for the one raceway. Maybe the guy had a bad day at work and he's just trying to get home.
I don't know. He's still tailgating that guy though.
I know.
But you notice how it's just there's no down once you get up here.
Yeah,
It's it's flat, relatively flat. I mean, it's not obviously completely flat. There's erosion, so you've got places that dip, but that's really what happened with the plateau. It was eroded. So that's why there's ups and downs.
Yeah.
But that to me is that's the most dramatic drive, the transitioning from the Appalachians to the Alleghenies that you can find on the east side of the state. I know you see something similar when you hit the Allegheny front out west, but it's kind of harder to notice here in the Pocono region.
Yeah. Kent says the skies are beautiful and the trees are too. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, some neat clouds out today. That dark one up there kind of looks like a mountain by itself.
It does. I actually thought it was a mountain at first when I first saw it, but it's a cloud. Look at how red some of these reds are. This one up here on the left is pretty red.
Yeah, that dark cloud ahead does look like a looming mountain. It's neat how that happens sometimes. Can you imagine though if that was real?
I know, right?
That'd be a heck of a climb. First sign I noticed that actually used the word Pocono.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. The rafting. Here we got a small 8% grade in half a mile. So I guess we are gonna go down a little bit. Benny says we're supposed to have a bad winter this year. I live in Cayuga Lake and Seneca Lake, two of the Finger Lakes, home of the Corning Glassware Pyrex.
Ah,
it's a really pretty place.
That's a really nice area in New York. It's
Probably
been a while.
Get a lot of lake effect snow, I'm guessing. Hopefully it's not too bad this winter. Snow, but I'm not a big fan of being cold.
We're talking to some friends that they go to Florida for the winter. Once the holidays are over, they head south.
Then he says my wife's from Buffalo and it gets bad. Yeah, Buffalo gets a lot. It gets a lot of snow. Remember when we used to listen to that when we get up in the morning for school on KB radio.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd be talking about all the snow in Buffalo.
KB radio. With Dan Neverth, morning show host.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one year I started listening to them and they got 90 inches of snow, something like that.
I can't imagine that. 90 inches of snow. You know? 1 year. It's a lot of snow.
That wasn't just 1 year, that was just a storm.
One storm?
I think so. It was a huge amount.
Wow.
This was in the late 70s, I think it happened.
I don't know how
They're
you
used to a
handle.
lot of snow, but that was even too much for them.
How do you even deal with 90 inches of snow? Yeah, I guess you do the let it melt method, which it's not gonna melt. So yeah, Benny says it was back in I can't tell if it's 76 or 78. The road's too bouncy. 78.
Was it the winter 78?
90 inches of snow. That's so much snow. Is this telling us about the road issues?
I'm not sure what's up.
Not sure. I don't see any issues, but I don't know. Kent says they can visit the South anytime, but leave their liberal views in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still smell a stink bug in the car.
You think you got a stink bug in the car?
Yeah. I threw one out the window, but
I can't say I smell stink bug, but who knows?
I must have stepped on him when we were out in the car earlier.
Yeah.
When we got out the stretch.
You know, I did see one on the side of the car earlier, but that was outside.
Yeah, I like the snow, but I don't like getting stuck in the snow. There's just something calming about being outside when it's snowing. That calmness and the sound of snow falling, that's just so inspiring and invigorating. I used to read a lot of poetry growing up. I can't think of the author's name. What was the big book that I would read? Poems. Famous poet.
I don't recall.
It's like inch thick.
Was that a school book or one we had?
No, it was one we had. I'm drawing a blank on this famous poet. I will have to figure it out later, but it just inspires you. At least for me, anyway. It lets you think about things, or just the calmness of it all. It just reminded me of one of his poems.
Maybe you were reading one of my dad's poetry books. He was into poetry.
Might have been.
I think he was a fan of Robert Frost.
Yes, that's it. I was thinking it was Frost. But
You must have been reading one of his old books then.
Yeah, Frost. Then he says, Kent, I lived in Florida for 11 years. I was stupid. I moved back to New York. My wife's family lived there over 15 years. Yeah, that's a big switch to move from Florida to New York, for sure. And vice versa. But I think it's a lot harder to go from living in warm to cold.
My nephew grew up in Florida, and he doesn't like the north.
No.
It's too cold. He lives in North Carolina now, and that's about as far north as I think he'd want to live.
Yeah. I know he had talked about maybe once he retires, he wanted to go further south, where it's warmer.
They did like the mountains, though, in North Carolina, but they get pretty cold in the winter.
Yeah, he has a circulation issue with his hands, though, like I do.
Yeah.
So, like, he doesn't... He said it's been getting worse, so the cold bothers him more.
Yeah.
Look at the oranges. Lots of orange here. In the trees. Yeah, so Robert Frost. I loved reading his poems.
We're in Albrightsville. We're near Hickory Run State Park. There's a huge boulder field in Hickory Run. A glacier remnant.
Was I don't know if this is the right name. Is Ralph Waldo Emerson another poet?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, because that was another one that I was reading. I wasn't sure I got the name in the right order, because I know it's 3 names. Yeah, I really dig the poetry when I was growing up.
I think some of them are in the bookshelf in the hallway upstairs.
I like to read. I'm a bookworm. So it's probably one of those times that we didn't make it to the library, so I just grabbed something and I was like, poetry. And just absorbed myself in poetry. Yeah, Hickory Run State Park is to the left. Well, it's 7 miles, it says.
Yeah, you can camp there. There's a nice walk to Waterfall, Hawk Falls, I think it's called. That doesn't take a lot of time.
I like waterfalls.
There's a fire tower on the park in the park. You used to be able to walk up it. I guess you probably can't anymore, but it was kind of neat to do that. You could walk up the stairs all the way to the top.
Oh, it looks like it might be a game tonight. Unless it's practice. Might be practice. Yeah, it's practice.
Really?
I don't know. They're wearing different colors. You would think if it was a game, they'd be wearing similar colors, but maybe since it's little kids, maybe they don't do that. I don't know. It seems like all the parents are hanging out watching. So maybe they're gonna do like a scrimmage or something. Benny says, I have to laugh. I used to drill wells and my brother came down and wanted to go to work with me. I was fixing a well and my brother said he would go up on the roof. I told him, Roy, the heat exchange is down here. He goes, I'm good. He was up 10 minutes, came down. I'm not sure what that word is. Came down puking?
Maybe.
I think that's what you meant. So I guess the smell was pretty bad. The well drilling. Yeah, puking. Okay. That's what I thought you were trying to say. Yeah. That's that could be rough. One of the friends I met online through Santa's Little Helpers on Reddit, he actually does stuff for oil refineries off on the Gulf Coast. In the Gulf. It's really interesting to see some of his photos. And he goes out to sea, as they call it, for like a month or plus at a time.
Yeah.
Where he's out there on the refineries. And it's just hard to imagine that, you know?
Big Boulder Lake. Can't really see it.
Oh, it was the heat. It wasn't the smell, it was the heat.
It's too hot.
Oh. I thought maybe it was smell, but heat. How hot does it get when you're drilling a well?
You gotta get used to the heat too. It's by the time we get used to the heat here in the summer, it gets cold again.
Yeah, that's pretty much describes Pennsylvania. You finally get adjusted, and then you get a cool day, and you're like, "Where's my jacket?"
Our temperature's dropping, 59 degrees now.
Our sunlight level is dropping too.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna run out of daylight.
The sun's getting eaten by a cloud. It's also getting close to sunset too.
We're at daylight now.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we had to do some prep, so it is what it is.
Crossing into Monroe County. We're leaving Carbon County. coming up on Route 115, the end of 903. We're not far from Interstate 80.
Yeah.
22 miles to Wilkes-Barre.
Kimberly, what you cooking? Kimberly says, I'm in the kitchen making dinner. Just holler if you need me. That should be good. But I am curious what you're cooking for dinner, though. I like talking about food.
You like growing food? You like making food?
Yeah.
Preserving food?
Sharing food. I just like food.
That's one thing we can all have common ground on, right? We all like to eat.
Yeah. Food's a good thing. Good thing to have. She's like, I'm making hamburgers with fried onions. Yum. Benny says, if you're ever up in New York, go to Watkins Glen State Park.
Yeah, I was there many years ago. When you mentioned that, I was thinking about that. It was on one of the trips I went with my mom. We were just traveling and just going places, and I remember stopping there for a couple of hours at least. I remember going up near Rome, New York for an eclipse back in the, I guess, early mid-90s. There was an annular solar eclipse outside of Rome, New York, and we just set up our equipment right there in a parking lot. It was kind of neat. Those eclipse paths are fairly narrow, so it was a fairly good spot. It wasn't quite on the center line, as they say, but it was well within the path. Do you need a break, or do we? You're good to keep going? You wouldn't mind a break? All right, we can stop. There's a Wawa coming up here when we get to Route 940, just north of Route 80. That's always a good break spot.
The clouds look like egg batter on the left. Like they, you know, like egg beaters, like make those ripples in the clouds on the left.
I think he might have wanted to turn.
I don't know.
There was one trip that we took. It was my mom and I. We followed the shoreline of Lake Ontario. I think it was 2 different trips that we did that. We did part of it one trip and the rest of it on another trip. I think the one trip we ended up going all the way up along the St. Lawrence. And then we came all the way back home from that northern point in New York State. I don't know if we did that in one day, though. That was a long drive if it was. I know we spent a few days going along the shore, just taking some of the shore routes. The Finger Lakes are really pretty, though.
Yeah, I'd love to go back and visit the Finger
We're going to be
Lakes.
going up to Ithaca in about a week.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the gimbal with me so we can check out the lake. Let's turn. I just got like I need to stretch my legs. Oh, you're gonna have to go all the way around to go to the back, I guess.
Oh, Truckie's got us blocked off. Yeah, it's going to go in the back.
And you can't turn in here either.
All right, well, we'll just cut around through the middle here.
It's unloading time apparently.
It's busy.
Yeah. Mall was always busy. Benny says, "Oh crap! Have you ever heard of Richie Evans? One of the best mod drivers. He was from Rome, New York." I don't.
Are you good back here? Or you
Yeah, I'm good. Do you recognize the name, Dad?
Yeah, you know, I don't know much about it. The name is familiar though. What I remember in Rome, New York, is there is a battlefield you can go to that's nearby. I remember going there a couple of times. Went to Rochester, New York a couple of times. Remember going up to some kind of a city reservoir there and hiking around that. Richie Evans, 44, a 9-time NASCAR modified champion, is killed in crash. When did that happen? Is that something new or something that happened some time ago? Again, I don't really know much about anybody in NASCAR. Hey, you back?
Yeah, I'm looking for something.
You find it?
Yeah. Almost got run over.
Yeah.
There was like 3 cars.
They took away some parking back here. That building is new.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember that being in there. They actually have a table you can actually eat inside now. Which never used to exist.
Well, it's been a while.
very busy. I smell like coffee now. Richie Evans is
Yeah, I read that.
9-time NASCAR modified champion. Was killed in a crash.
I don't know if that was recent or not.
I assume he said 1985, or was his car number 85? He was 44 years old. Bummer. NASCAR racing stuff is tough stuff. DG Market. Dollar General Market. He died in 85. Okay. That's what I was thinking you meant, but
East. I go a little further north. Get on Route 423 when we get to it.
he was the Earnhardt in the north. He was a really good driver, Earnhardt. I've never hearing stories about him.
Yeah. I remember the race that the People's Convoy stopped at. I think it was in Arkansas.
Yeah, I think you're
Then they were heading back to California. So our goal is to start streaming around 8 o'clock tomorrow. I thought I heard you say sometime.
yeah, that's my hopeful goal if all goes well. So tomorrow, the event check-in and breakfast starts at 7:30. The first speaker starts at 8:30, assuming they haven't changed the schedule. But I'd like to start at 8 just to, make sure everything's up and running and be able to check that everything's working. And then we'll have our first speaker at 8:30, and I believe the second session starts at 10:30. But I'd have to pull the paperwork out of my bag or bring it up on my phone in a minute. Golfing fun. It's a golf park. That looks cool. I like mini golf. Remember that Pirates mini golf we did up near Cape Cod?
Yeah, it was on Cape Cod.
It was near Woods Hole, I believe.
No,
No? Not Woods Hole.
that was on the other end of the Cape.
Maybe we wanted to do the Woods Hole one and we hadn't.
I didn't know there was one there. Woods Hole is all the way on the western end of the Cape.
This was in the south.
Yeah, it was in the south, but it wasn't that far west. It was close to the east side. I don't know if it was Hyannisport or if it was further east.
Oh, yeah, it was near Hyannis. Yeah, you're right. Because there was an aquarium, too, that we visited.
Oh, that was at Woods Hole.
That was at Woods Hole?
Yep.
Okay. I got the two swapped in my brain then. Josh says, hey, road trip. Yeah. Unfortunately, we got a late start today, Josh, so we're not going to be able to do the Lake Wall and Paw Pack tour as we had hoped. We'll have to do it next weekend when we go to Cornell. Because we just had too much prep to do for tomorrow. We didn't want to run ourselves down and not get enough sleep, so.
Yeah, we both kind of slept in today.
Yeah.
We needed it, though.
We needed it, so.
I was glad you slept in.
Well, I did set my alarm for 11:05, and then
There's the moon.
I turned that off real quick and turned off all my other ones.
That's no fake moon tonight. That's the real moon.
Oh yeah, there it is. There's Mr. Moon. Yeah, it's not the fake moon I put on last night. Well, that was kind of cool. I didn't know you could put those on the screen, so that was fun. But yeah, it was good for me to fall back asleep for those extra few hours, so.
While I contemplate our sound options.
Yeah, that was your department, because I'm not an expert on sound cords.
Yeah, the event at Spooky Nook just kind of reminded me that we need to try to do something better on the sound. Your room was pretty good. Yours was better. Mine had so much gymnasium reverb that it was hard to hear sometimes.
Yeah. Yours is very echoey.
There was a lot of echo and there was a lot of background noise from the exhibit
middle
area.
room. Yeah.
I don't think our sound system was cranked up as much as yours. If you said people were complaining about turning it down, then you were in a better position.
Some people were asking for it to be turned down. I personally was, getting a headache from how loud it was, but I was in the perfect sound field for it, so. Josh says, I ended up getting busy helping my stepdaughter move, so I'm glad I didn't miss out on the road trip. Nope, you didn't miss out. You definitely do want to check out earlier. We had a very cool experience. We had a bald eagle come say hello by flying in front of us, which was really neat. I will try to grab the link and share that with you.
Yeah, it looks like the moon is maybe 2 days before full.
Well, I couldn't tell because it was still pretty light out when I was looking at it, so
Yeah. Because when it's a day before full, it's kind of hard to tell that it's not. Or you definitely can tell that it's not quite full now.
Yeah.
Plus, it rose too early.
Well, earlier it was blending in kind of with the clouds, so it was hard to tell. There's the clip, Josh, if you want to see the bald eagle experience from earlier. Big shout out to Kimberly for grabbing that.
Junction 423. We're in Pocono Pines.
Lots of pine trees. Oh, there's the ice cream place I always like. That's cute. The Junction. Cute little ice cream place. Never been there, but just it's cute.
Toby Hanna, that's where we're headed. 8 more miles. This could be kind of iffy for coverage.
Yeah, it might drop out, maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. If it does... There's people.
Some of these stretches of 423 just seem a bit spooky when it gets dark.
Yeah, at first when those two guys were walking, I thought it was a bear.
It's like very Halloweenish feeling.
Yeah.
You got the woods closing in on you.
Chill in the air. Right.
I just remember when we took vacations going to Lake Wallenpaupack that one of the routes took us on 423 for a stretch between Route 196 and 507. And that was always the, I don't know what made it scary, but it just seemed kind of scary because it was very dense, the woods, through that stretch of road. I don't know, I guess we thought we'd get lost somehow. But I always liked it. I like driving in the woods. Hiking in the woods when getting dark, not so much.
Yeah, hiking in the woods, not so good without a flashlight. Benny asks, are you a vet? As a veteran.
Oh, no. No, not me.
We've had a lot of people in our family serve, though.
My one uncle used to like to come up to Toby Hanna. They call it the commissary. I guess it was like a grocery store where you could have access to that. I'm guessing they saved a lot of money doing that. It seemed like a long ride to go to the grocery store, but I guess they do it periodically. Stock up. In fact, I remember one time they were we actually did a little short vacation with them. They were renting a cottage up at Lake Wallenpaupack, and we were gonna come up for the weekend and maybe in a couple extra days. And they were planning to get all their food at the commissary in Toby Hanna. Well, it turned out it was closed that day.
Oh no.
So they got up there, they didn't have anything.
That's not good. What'd they end up doing?
I think we had brought some stuff. I don't know if we ended up going to a grocery store or what. I don't know, it seemed like in those early years we felt like we had the Poconos were more rural, but there were still places you could go to get groceries. I remember going to Hawley and Honesdale for groceries. But I guess the thinking was that we didn't want to spend our vacation going grocery shopping, so just packed everything we needed.
It does save time, because like if you go out to eat a lot of time up.
Yeah, we never went out to eat on those vacations. There was always some kind of a meal, and there was quite a few of us sometimes, so it was
You could share the cooking responsibilities, which is nice.
and it was a decent amount of food. There was a lot of food that was cooked.
Definitely makes it easier.
Sometimes we had 10 or more people staying together, especially in the later years. Some people might visit just for the weekend. There might be 6 of us for the whole week.
Benny says vets can go to the site and pay $10 a year to get into state parks for free. Camping is discounted. Oh, that's cool to know. Didn't know that.
Here.
Yeah. Our family who lost his arm in the service.
In the service?
Was it in the service or something else? The one that worked at Girl Scout camps.
That was my grandfather. He worked at Moseywood, which isn't too far from here, actually.
How did he lose his arm again?
Silk mill injury.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was in the military.
Got his arm in a machine.
Either way, that was rough.
Yeah.
But he said he adapted really well.
Yeah, he did. I guess you have to, you know.
Yeah, no choice, really.
Learn how to do things differently. Like just tying your shoes with one hand, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you manage that? I guess you learn. You have tricks, tools.
But he says, yeah, the commissary are on VA places where you can get stuff cheaper.
Yeah, I used to like to go up there. Toby Hanna, that's not too many miles ahead of us. He lived in the Allentown area, so it was a pretty decent ride to come up here to Toby Hanna.
What else did they sell? Was it just essentials, or did they sell other things?
I really don't know. It's one of those things that just remember him talking about going to the commissary. But that one vacation when we joined them, they went up to the commissary and it was closed. They were going to get all their stuff they needed for the vacation, which made sense because it was kind of on the way to Lake Wallenpaupack.
Then he says they sell everything.
There you go.
I was wondering about that, if that's kind of what it was, the type of store, if it kind of had a little bit of everything.
I don't know what the status of this this base up here in Toby Hanna is. We're going to drive through it, but there's not much to see, really. There's definitely something still there.
So I was going to go over the schedule for tomorrow while I still have decent service. So tomorrow is the Save the Nation conference. It starts the speakers start at 8:30 a.m. The first one is at the Sanctuary Church in Newfoundland, Pennsylvania. So session 1 is 8:30, the role of churches in saving the nation. They'll have Pastor Gary Haskell speaking, Dr. Joseph Green, and Pastor Greg Locke. And then at session 2 will start at 10:30 a.m., returning our nation to the founder's constitutional vision. Robert Burrell will be speaking, as well as Ambassador Alan Keyes. And then at 12:30 p.m. we have our lunch speakers, which will be Trevor Loudon, who's from New Zealand, and Donna Jackson. And then session 3 is at 2:30, the fight to restore election integrity in our republic. We'll have Greg Stenstrom, Leah Hoops, and Cheryl Chumley. And then they'll have a Q&A and like a wrap-up conclusion at 4:30 p.m. So that's the first event we're covering in the day. And then we'll be heading over to the election ice cream dinner, which will be over at the Rod of Iron Freedom Festival grounds. And they'll have speaking over there. Some of the speakers also include Ambassador Alan Keyes, Trevor Loudon, Greg Stenstrom, Doug Malenko, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, and Leah Hoops as well. So some of the speakers from the first conference in the morning are coming over for the dinner. You can still register online and attend in person if you want. The website is freedomfaithandfamily.org. So you can register for both the events and attend in person. If not, you can watch it on the live stream. I'll be live streaming tomorrow on Lions for Liberty on Rumble as one word, Lions for Liberty. And then also on my Rumble channel, Gwenny7, GWYNNY7. And then also on my YouTube channel, Gwenny7, GWYNNY7. And then also on Facebook as Gwen's Notes, GWYN''S space notes. So if all goes well, we'll have all 4 of those up and running, assuming no technology issues. So pretty exciting. I'm gonna have a lot of great speakers tomorrow. If you can, share the word with your friends. Definitely want to get this information out to more people, so if you can share the channels out with your friends, that'd be appreciated. I will link them in the comments so that it's easy for you to share it out.
Toby Hanna Army Depot to the left. So I guess when we drive by it on this road, we just see the back end of it. You mentioned Alan Keyes. He ran for president years ago.
Did he really?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what year it was.
I'll have to do it in 2 comments on YouTube because apparently it's too many characters.
So we're crossing Route 611. We just went over Interstate 380. Now we're in the town of Toby Hanna.
I'll also link the conference, so if you want to buy a ticket, you can still do that.
Jog onto Old Route 611 for a little bit.
Main Street.
8 miles to South Sterling.
I also did want to mention I am working this event on behalf of Lions for Liberty, so that's why, in case you're wondering why am I streaming on Lions for Liberty, I'm working on behalf of Lions for Liberty for this event. Kimberly, if you could relink the stream links in YouTube, that'd be great. I just posted the Lions for Liberty one, but can you post my Rumble and Facebook? It'd be easy. These events are part of the Rod of Iron Freedom Festival, which is actually going on all weekend. So it starts tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and much of Sunday. So definitely, if you're interested, you can check that out as well. That's a free event that you can attend. There's different activities that you can, sign up for or participate in, which may or may not have additional cost. I'm not sure, but it's a very, very patriotic festival.
That was one of the entrances to the Army Depot.
I saw some weird looking balloon-shaped things illuminated. I don't know what those were.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It smells really weird. It smells like mothballs. All of a sudden. Did the Army just roll out a giant mothball? reminds me of, you know? There's a park.
Yeah.
We've stopped here before to stretch before.
Right. I remember. So what is our plan right now? Are we going to get food, or are we going to go check in to the where we're staying?
I'm checking to see how late the restaurant's open.
Because we'll have to make a decision in a couple miles. When we get to Route 196, which way we go? Tobiana Creek. I think there's a reservoir on the left.
We might have to go get food first.
And Sterling 5. Newfoundland. That's our event.
Yeah. Well, let's see, how far is the hotel?
It's not that far. It varies.
I don't know what it is for ours. I guess I'm gonna have to look it up.
You want to just swing by and check in?
Yeah, maybe just grab the keys.
Stay up, or did it
I think it's still up for now.
Did it die out through that gap there? Still on 423.
Oh, there goes the hot spot.
Looks like we're coming up on Route 196. We can go straight either way.
The restaurant closes at 9. So it's suggesting to get to the hotel faster to go left up here.
Yeah, I thought maybe. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, it's probably best.
All right. That will work.
Be more direct.
Yeah, I kind of thought it might be. Always stop. 11 miles to Hamlin. 196. Pretty much goes due north. Yeah.
unpack after dinner. So
Sounds good. Got some homework to do when we get back. Make up a few cables.
Benny says, I used to go to Roma's Depot in New York. It was an army base, lots of nuke stuff. All the deer around it were albino. They used to test subs at Seneca Lake, and they still have a spot. No one's allowed. They say there's 2 nukes down there. Oh, wow. In Elmar Airport, they were doing a lot of work. Came to find out from one person that worked there, it was a bunker for the governor. Wow.
Interesting.
Didn't know that either. Fascinating.
Yeah, this road's in pretty nice shape. These roads were definitely narrower and woodier. You felt more isolated.
Yeah, for sure. Kimberly says, where are you going for dinner? American Girl says, Gresham's Shop House. Can you meet us? Kimberly's like, sure, give me a minute. I'll be right there. Do you have a helicopter, Kimberly? That's a fast minute to go from Michigan all the way to the Poconos. Or are you taking Eagle Express? So in 7.3 miles, we turn right onto Twin Rocks Road, and we're right there.
Twin Rocks Road.
Yeah, that's where our hotel is.
So you don't have to go all the way to Route 191?
You just cross 84.
Yeah, and then there's a road you can take?
Yep. And then it's recommending to get to dinner to go through 84 faster.
Yeah.
And then State Road 390.
Oh, all the way to 390?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that tonight.
Just because of the time, it's probably better to do that.
I remember a Poconos before Interstate 84.
Kimberly says, no, I don't have a helicopter, but I'm a helicopter mod. You crack me up, girl. You're a great mod.
This is the curb before the steep hill.
American Girl's a great mod, too. I really appreciate all our mods. Couldn't do it without you.
This was a fun hill going down years ago in a loaded old car.
Oh, I bet. And there's a stop sign at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Imagine being on a bicycle. Having to stop at the bottom. It's got a blinky light.
Driving her old 67 Chevy to the Poconos.
It's clear on my side.
Nobody around but us.
Us in the wilderness.
There's a few homes. I think this is Angels, this town here. Handful of houses. I could be wrong about that though, thinking about it. Man, this is Sterling. I just don't know. I'd have to look at a map. I thought it had a name though.
Let's see.
I didn't see a sign.
It's Dreher. Dreher.
Oh, that's not familiar at all.
Sterling's up a little further.
Oh, I know where that is. Yeah. Okay. Now you said that, I remember. Because there's a Sterling and then there's also a South Sterling. The name Angels sticks in my mind though, for that area right behind us. 196 and 507.
Kimberly says, is there any way tomorrow you can put a message on your screen to go to your Rumble channel to go there instead of a watermark? I don't think so. I wasn't going to do a watermark because I got to be able to add different watermarks afterwards in post-production, and you can't remove a watermark if you put a watermark on. Ooh, spooky pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's not good to have a watermark on it. You know, people say always put a watermark on it, but since I have to, since I'm doing this under contract for Lions for Liberty, we have to be able to change the watermarks, so I'm not going to put anything on it.
Yeah, and as far as we know, there's no specific watermark for the event itself.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, whatever you put on the watermarking on for the stream ends up on the video too. You can't change it out.
Now, if I end up having to use both phones, then I will put it on my phone, like my watermark on my phone probably, because I, can't save it locally on my phone anyway. But for the other phone, I don't want to. Oh, you mean like a message? Oh, like a pin message. Like a chat message? I could try to pin it. Yeah, I could try to do that. Assuming I don't have to use my phone for actual streaming.
You think you'll have to?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the guy said the service at the church is not very good in one room. They have Wi-Fi though, supposedly.
They were going to let us use the Wi-Fi?
Yeah. The gentleman I spoke to said he didn't know the Wi-Fi in particular, like the login information or whatever. That we'd be able to get that tomorrow when we get there at 7. So. Yeah, I can definitely link it, Kimberly. I could actually pin it as a message, so yeah. Wow, we're going down.
We're going down a little bit.
No lines on these Pennsylvania roads.
They just repaved this, I think. But yeah, there's some really 36. You don't know, you don't remember. We don't take it that often to remember them all. I know that one stretch when you go across Route 84, it's a real nice downhill stretch there.
Yeah.
And fairly straight too. One part of the road of 84 you go over, and the other part you go under.
Oh, interesting. Is that the one that's near Lehigh? Not Lehigh.
near South Sterling.
What's
Yeah, Sterling, that's right.
What's the one that's near the Heighton where the road goes up and over? I was thinking of.
I think that's Route 248 through there.
This is really going down. It's so smooth. My imaginary brake pedal over here on the side.
Are you braking for me?
You can get me on top of the curves. I'm just like waiting for the hot spot to go away. This car likes to coast.
Here we go. Now we're crawling up a hill. Yeah, it looks like they've done some patching, which is nice.
Yeah.
Haven't put the lines on though.
Benny says, watch for deer. Yeah. He's like, the government doesn't tell you a lot. You'd be surprised if you sit and talk to a vet, you'll hear things that are crazy. Oh, I know, Benny. There's a lot of things you won't hear. He's like, our deer was a big wreck, whole front end. One deer would be a big wreck and a whole front end. Yeah, that's not good. It's like American Pie. Too old for y'all. Oh, we know American Pie. We like the oldies.
Talk about the song.
Yeah.
The old Don McLean song. I remember going to, sometimes I'd go with my mom when she would go bowling. She was in a bowling league for a long time. And every now and then I went with her. I just remember they had a jukebox and people would be playing songs. I remember when that was being played all the time. Bowling alley song. Another song that reminded me of those times going with my mom when she went bowling was, I think it's Chuck Berry. They used to play that song all the time.
Yeah.
It's around the same time, I think.
Pumpkins and mums.
That was early to mid-70s, I guess.
This is 84 coming up here that we're going to be crossing.
Yeah,
we're going under or over.
Yeah, we're crossing over the eastbound lanes right here.
Then we go on to the other.
Go under the westbound lanes.
At point 8, we turn right. It's going to be a hard right-hand turn.
Okay.
Curve right before.
Yeah, Route 191 is where the interchange is. They're not too far apart at this point. As Benny reminded me, watch out for deer. I didn't want to just coast 60 miles an hour down there in the dark. Because a deer through the front of the car would definitely wreck the trip.
Yeah, let's not do that.
That would offset seeing the eagle.
Yeah. And the beautiful trees. says, love the old jukeboxes. Remember we used to go to the restaurant, there was one at every table. Yeah, I've never been to even some of the diners that we used to go to, they used to still have them. But then they got rid of them, which was so sad.
Well, this is 191, as it turns out.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was 191.
That's okay. I kind of wondered if it would be.
Waze doesn't always tell you route numbers. It tells you the name of it instead of the route number for some reason. And then a half mile, we turn left.
Yeah, you mentioned Woods Hole at Cape Cod. I remember we went into a diner there that had the jukeboxes at the tables. And that diner had actually been moved from a place near us. I think, was it the Peter Pan Diner in Coonsville? I think that might be where it came from. They had moved it.
Point 2. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream for now. We're gonna get checked in at our hotel, and then we're gonna go meet American Girl for some dinner. So thanks for riding along this afternoon and evening, and we'll catch you probably tomorrow morning if all goes well. We're not gonna stream to dinner or back because you're not gonna really see anything anyway. So, but we will catch you tomorrow morning at the church. Hopefully going live at 8 a.m. all goes to plan. So have a good evening, and we'll catch you later.